very sensitive agencies of the U.S. government. That's one of the reasons why the administration says, you know what, it's better that these people do not expose themselves.
Well, is that what you're saying?
That's why they have closed doors. That's why they do have people up there that have top security clearance that could be given, these that are trusted as much as anybody over at the CIA or the FBI or wherever it is. So they could produce
the argument they make, Ryan, and I'll run it by you and see what you think. The argument I've heard is that these are some of the most sensitive people who work for whether the CIA or other U.S. intelligence agencies, and if they start testifying either in open or closed-door session before Congress, they have to retire. They, for all practical purposes, can no longer be clandestine officers of the United States.
My understanding is back a while ago, the National Counterterrorism Center actually was the lead agency in putting together the definitive timeline for the administration on what happened in Benghazi. They went in closed session, the director of the NCTC, in the Intelligence Committee, took the whole Intelligence Committee through the timeline with video, surveillance video, and the whole thing. And after that, there were folks on the Intelligence Committee, Republicans, who were saying, okay, Benghazi is a little bit more different than we were thinking, and some of the heat turned down. So I don't know if Lindsey Graham has asked to see that presentation, but other Republicans who have seen it, my understanding is that they're not out there railing.
Like Mike Rogers, who's the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, he's been briefed on all of this, and I don't see him calling for all these individuals to come and testify.
Because he's seen this briefing, and I don't know if Graham has or not.
And part of this, obviously, is politics. This has to do with Hillary Clinton in 2016, and we know all of that. But it's an open secret that Benghazi was effectively a CIA outpost. We've been talking about that.
Exactly.
And so we all know that. And there are ways, as Candy was saying, to debrief privately, to get Lindsey Graham to have the same kind of hearings that perhaps Mike Rogers has had. And if they haven't done that, maybe that's a compromise that can be reached.
I just want to go back to the point. Graham is in a not tough, but he's in a primary against conservatives in South Carolina. So let's remember that's part of this.
It is part of the package. I mean, so much of what you're hearing now, it's hard to extrapolate what part of it is politics and what part of it is policy, because we are in an election season. And this is clearly, Benghazi is clearly going to come up. The Republicans do want to push that, which doesn't mean, as you pointed out, that he isn't serious about finding out what happened.
We'll see what happens. I suspect they'll work something out fairly soon, but we'll see. All right,
it's also going to re-engage the debate over the nuclear option. And the Democrats are not just going to sit down and let the Senate be held up.
Nuclear option has nothing to deal with nuclear. It's a bureaucratic thing up in the Senate. All right, guys, thanks very much. Up next.